What's up, Thumpers? Welcome to another episode of Hyper Heroes here on Hyper RPG. We are live Thursday night, special day. Well, it's not special time, it's a regular time.
No,
it's a
it
special day.
is special because the Patreons made this possible.
It's very true.
That's why it's
very
special.
true.
It was the premiere of Solo, a Star Wars story tonight in Hollywood.
Which I don't care
right.
about because we didn't get to see it.
But there's a Millennium Falcon in Hollywood.
what?
Right now. There's a Millennium Falcon right now.
Millennium Falcon?
In Hollywood right now.
Millennium Falcon?
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
There is. They built it last
did.
night.
They did. It's crazy.
I've seen pictures of people going to it.
And they're going to take it down tomorrow morning probably?
Yeah, they have to.
That's how they normally do it, yeah.
Yeah, they have to. There's no way they can leave that up. But it is a special night because we're live. This is our first live Thursday show of the Patreon.
Because we did it last week and it was on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Special day. It was a special day, special time.
Thank you guys for making this possible. Everybody who's a patron on our Patreon. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We've got some upcoming goals that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be shooting some separate videos but we're so close to hitting our next goal. And we've got a lot of... I've been talking...
Doom musical?
Oh, that's still on the list. That is for sure going to happen.
That's the last thing on the list.
That is. I've been talking to Cameron and Lucas, talking about ideas for things that we want to do. So we have plenty of other show ideas that we would like to accomplish. And, the Patreon is really going to help us accomplish all of that. So if you haven't become a part of the Patreon... Go now, patreon.com/hyperrpg. We've got a lot of cool tiers. And please go into the community tab and let us know how you feel about the tiers, how you feel about the things that we're offering. We want to hear from you guys because the Patreon is really for you. So the more ideas you give us, we can sort of adapt that and make it a part of the Patreon or add things, take things away that you don't feel like are valuable to you. We're keeping an eye on that thing every single day.
Yeah.
Also, if you're listening on iTunes or SoundCloud, thank you so much. We get a lot of plays on SoundCloud and on iTunes.
Oh, yeah?
And I feel like not enough people comment there either. So if you are listening to this on the go, make sure you leave a comment. If you're taking a walk around the block, let us know how you feel about the show. If you are on iTunes, give it a rating if you enjoy it. Maybe throw a 5-star down there.
Because Adam doesn't wear pants just because he knows we're going to be
goddamn right.
On iTunes.
My room is 50 steps. Oh, Hector's touching my third leg.
Hear that slap? That's a beating. That's a thick ass slap right there.
That's disgusting.
It's a nice meat. It's a nice
meat
Adam.
to it.
Are you gonna be doing that to me in Europe too?
Yeah, you know it.
Oh, baby,
I'm excited.
Thick
wait.
with 2 C's. Is there any other?
That's right.
Thick.
Oh, Jesus.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah,
I've never been to Europe, guys.
We're going to Europe together in October.
Yeah.
We haven't really mentioned this anywhere, but we are going to Prague. All three of us and significant others are coming with. We're trying to convince
it's not just
Lucas.
us three.
I mean, it can be.
Basically, it is going to be us three. We're going to be like, you
that.
guys go over there. We're going to hang out over
Y'all
here.
go look at the castle. We're going to go have drankies.
Yeah.
We're trying to convince Lucas to come with us. Lucas?
Okay.
Perfect.
Lucas said okay.
So
Don't
we're going to be going to
pressure.
Prague in October. We're going to be there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a good time. We're looking forward to a little vacation time.
We're gonna
It's gonna
get
be a crazy
tore up
summer.
from the floor up.
70-cent beers? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
70-cent
beers are
beers.
very. It's cheaper than water in
Yeah.
Prague, so it's going to be cray.
Uh-oh.
Also, Cameron and I had a chance to see Deadpool 2 today.
Yes.
We are going to shoot a non-spoiler review.
After this?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the embargo isn't up until Tuesday, so we won't be able to post it on Tuesday. But you guys get a double whammy on Tuesday because we are seeing Han Solo on Monday. And the embargo for that also lifts on Tuesday. So
right.
you're going to get 2 non-spoiler reviews, one of Solo, a Star Wars story, and the other of Deadpool 2.
Bro, I'm gonna get you back. I borrowed a little cherry
He's going
7-Up.
to pee out some 7-Up for you.
He's gonna pee it out.
7-Up. I'm good for it. I will get you another 2 liter of cherry 7-Up.
For those of you who don't know, Bert lives here now, so that's who was giving him the stank eye.
He was really mad.
Yeah, he was really mad. So you're going to have those reviews, and then next week we'll obviously do spoiler reviews for both Solo Star Wars story and for
I was
Deadpool
watching
2.
Captain America: Civil War in there.
Ooh,
You see that?
Malika's got a good taste in movies.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of fun stuff coming on. Obviously, Comic-Con is slowly approaching more and more. And we're working on stuff. It's gonna be a crazy couple months.
Hall H, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Also, one more thing. I want to give a shout out to all the mods in the chat who are keeping it safe, keeping it clean for everybody.
Keeping it real,
holding it down. Thank you for doing what you do in the chat and making sure that
And if you're not a part of the Patreon and you still would like to I guess, donate and or support the show or the channel, you can use the super chat on YouTube, and you can submit a question. At the end of the show, we'll go through all the questions that were submitted via super chat. That way we can interact with you guys, and if you guys want to ask us stuff, then you can do it that way.
Yeah.
With that out of the way, let's get to topic numero uno.
Here we go.
My favorite topic.
Your favorite topic, because this is a little personal to you. Well, in some way.
You know, it's personal to me.
Yeah.
But what are we talking about, Adam?
Peter Jackson may possibly be joining the DC universe. Now, we don't know what capacity. We don't know what movie or anything. Right now, apparently, according to the OneRing.net, which is a Lord of the Rings fan site.
It's like the Lord of the Rings
fan site. It's like the Lord of the Rings fan site. Like, they get like insider stuff.
Yeah.
He is apparently deciding right now whether or not he wants to journey back into Middle Earth to work on the Lord of the Rings Amazon series, or if he wants to join his compadre, Steven Spielberg, to work in the DC universe. Now, these two obviously teamed up to work on the Tintin films. Peter Jackson is still apparently supposed to make the second Tintin film.
Direct it,
which I hope so, because I personally love the first one. I thought it was such
Spielberg
really fun.
directed the first
Spielberg
one,
directed the first one.
and Jackson produced it, or they worked together.
And they're supposed to flip roles for the second movie.
Okay.
I really hope that this happens, but there's really no news of what the project could be. I'll throw sort of my pitch into it. I think Peter Jackson would be great to helm a Green Lantern Corps movie. He
Large
proved,
cast of characters.
Yeah, he proved with the Lord of the Rings, less so the Hobbit, but I think the Hobbit is such a special sort of set of circumstances. But I think if you
guys,
were,
if about the Hobbit, if you guys have not seen the film video like essay series on YouTube about the Hobbit and the making of the movies,
that's right,
from Lindsay Ellis.
Lindsay Ellis.
If you don't know who she is, she's probably the best, I think, at doing this kind of thing on YouTube. And she had a 3-video series that breaks down video essays, and they're fantastic. If you haven't seen them yet, Adam,
no, I haven't.
They're
really
so
good.
I'll send you the link, because she comes from a place of, like Augustine, loving the Lord of the Rings so much, and then just being meh on the Hobbit. And she's like, why? She goes, did I not give them a fair shot? She goes back to revisit them, talks about what's good, what's bad, and more importantly, what happened behind the scenes, which is fascinating and heartbreaking and kind of fucked up, and so many different things. So there's so many different factors. So like, it's a very, very important, I think, like series of videos to talk about. But like you're saying, maybe not just based off of The Hobbit, because it was a very special case, but off of Lord of the Rings, that qualifies him for Green Lantern Corps.
I think that qualifies him just. I mean, for me, anything. Basically, what he did was unprecedented. He changed the scale of cinema at that point. Nobody had ever attempted anything back to back to back like this before. Yeah. And so
very rarely.
And pull it off so successfully. That's the thing that made him different, is that the entire franchise was Oscar winning. It was considered a humongous success, so much so that they just entrusted him with everything else that comes Lord of the Rings.
I think Return of the King won 12 Oscars?
Yeah, somewhere around that.
Crazy
Somewhere around that. And these movies, the Lord of the Rings movies and Peter Jackson are basically what made me want to jump into movies. I remember as when those movies came out, just watching the Fellowship of the Ring over and over and over. And when the extended versions came out, watching that bonus footage over and over and not getting enough of.
Augustine, so question to you. I wanted to ask this because I'm curious. Where are you on the Amazon Lord of the Rings show? Do you want it to be made, or do you think it's a bad idea?
That's something I'm willing to explore. I've been talking with Chris Bramante, and we're going to start sort of a Lord of the Rings podcast thing.
Yeah, groovy, baby. Groovy.
We already have a name. I already have the title for it. I have the intro. I'm not going to spoil it, but
okay, awesome.
So what we're going to do is, as news starts coming out, we're going to kind of talk about it, and we're actually going to just watch the show and then critique it as it comes out. I honestly, my geek bar is up here, but my realistic day-to-day life bar is down here.
Right.
Because like many other people, I felt like I was burned by The Hobbit.
Sure.
And that's because of other it's not,
and it's supposed to be like Amazon's biggest series. I mean, if you're going to do Lord of the Rings, that's
huge. Their Game of Thrones is going to be gone, so they're trying to swoop in and kind of fill that slot. I think, and I mean, maybe, I guess I'm a little bit I don't know what. I haven't heard the pitch yet. Remember when we talked about Krypton? And we were like, why are they making this show?
Yeah.
And then Krypton season 1 is almost wrapped, and people are really digging it. The ones that have checked it out and stuck with it. And I'm going to power through the show when the first season's done. But they gave us that pitch of but there's time travel involved. That all of a sudden made me go I was more interested. I just haven't, I don't know what the pitch is going to be for a Lord of the Rings show.
Exactly.
Because I personally feel that even if you go theatrical cut, I'm not even talking extended, theatrical cut, I'm that's still good enough of an adaptation of those books for me that I'm a happy camper. I'm not necessarily like, oh, they really fucked up. They got to do it again. Like, and I'm not like, let's see it from another angle of other characters' perspectives. I'm like, I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
But
so it seems strange to me because if you know Lord of the Rings history, there's not a lot that happens in between when the ring is lost and when the ring is found. Maybe we'll get a story on Tom Bombadil, which nobody wants because nobody likes the character.
But maybe it'll convince me to like Tom Bombadil because I fucking hate Tom Bombadil.
That's why I'm gonna watch the show. But also, this is why I agree with you, Adam, that he needs to do a Green Lantern series. Because I mean, if anybody watches the show, you know that this is what we talk about. Yeah. Green Lantern is their mega huge universe building, world building, character building, giant lore telling.
Such an exploration of the universe.
The universe and themes and like passion and like so many
fear
things.
And strength and like all these different things.
I was talking to a buddy of mine and he said this is his opinion. He feels that like right now Green Lantern as a property is the thing that Warner Brothers like doesn't realize the most how good it is.
Yeah, they don't realize. They don't realize like, what they have on their hands.
Exactly. Yeah. More than any other DC property even. It's because it's like they're doing Wonder Woman 2. They've got people working on Flash. Aquaman's almost in the can. Like they're doing Shazam. It's like and then they're exploring like Gotham City Sirens and different things. But it's like the fact that there's been no news on Green Lantern. Right. My buddy was like, this thing could be, look, Solo's coming out in a couple weeks. They could even make a Solo style movie set in the world of Green Lantern if they wanted to pare it down and do different things with just the space and the planets and the characters and especially after Infinity War, which is just again blew up the MCU.
Also like, a game changer in the movie universe.
Space-wise. But question, Augustine, like, would you rather Jackson do the DC thing? Because it says here he's deciding.
Right.
So it's like earlier today I did Nerdist News, and they were like, if he had to do one or the other, which one would you want him to do? Oversee a Lord of the Rings Amazon show, or go and work for Warner Brothers and do a movie?
I want Peter to do whatever makes Peter happy. Honestly, no best joke. Answer. Like,
best answer.
When I met the guy, I didn't realize what was going on behind the scenes, and so he comes into the room and like. His hair's kind of straggly and like he's barefoot and he's drinking tea. I'm like, oh, this guy's like the in person, like a hobbit incarnate, he is a hobbit.
Embodies all that.
He embodies all that. And so like do we have the graphic? Did you throw it in there?
Lucas, do you have?
There it is. There's me and my boy. We're like best friends.
Your feet are real hairy.
I text them like all the time. I know. I was wearing hobbit feet.
That's amazing.
In Weta Digital, and then behind us you can see the makeup stuff for the Hobbit, all the other dwarves.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, so I didn't know all the drama that was going on behind stage, and I was asking a lot of Lord of the Ring questions and not specifically like Hobbit questions. Sure. I feel like he was kind of steering away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know the drama that was going on, and so I feel like Peter's one of those types of guys that's very passion driven. And so if he finds something that he really wants to do, then let him do that. Like me personally, me being selfish, I want him to do the Green Lantern. Right. But I can't make that, I just want DC to succeed so far.
I just want the damn DC. I want a Green Lantern universe.
Yeah.
But here's the deal.
Exactly.
Let me bring this up. This is the elephant in the room. We've had another... Not a New Zealander, but a British director tackle Green Lantern before. Martin Campbell is a fantastic director. He did GoldenEye, Casino Royale. The dude knows what he's doing.
Rebooted Bond twice.
Rebooted Bond twice. But for me, as a Green Lantern fan, it came across sometimes like Martin Campbell didn't give a shit about Green Lantern. This was a job. He was there to knock it out. He did. He was directing a movie. He was
there to make a movie.
He wasn't there to ensure that like Green Lantern was going to be taken care of because he cares about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have never in my following of Peter Jackson have heard him talk about a superhero or a comic book thing.
Right.
And that makes me a little bit nervous because even Ava DuVernay, before we heard about New Gods, somebody asked her, who's your favorite superhero? And she said, Big Barda, which to me at least means somebody pitched that character to you or you already read, you already knew about the New Gods. So to go off of what Augustine's said, I want him to do what he wants to do.
Right.
He did King Kong. That was a passion project.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
He like all the movies he did in between Lord of the Rings and then Hobbits, there were passion projects. He does Tintin because Tintin's his favorite thing ever. So him and Spielberg teamed up. I want him to do his favorite thing ever. I want Warner Brothers to find a director, whoever it is, experienced, inexperienced, that is like chomping to do Lantern. That they like love Green Lantern in the mythos, give a shit, want it to be awesome. In the way that James Gunn cared about the characters in Guardians of the Galaxy, in the way that Patty Jenkins clearly cared about Wonder Woman and in the way that Ryan Coogler cared about Black Panther.
Yep.
That's what I want them to do.
They all have something to say. They all have something to add.
I think it also does go back to the pitch, because James Gunn has talked about how he knew Guardians, but he didn't know it well enough. It wasn't until he was pitched it that he thought, ooh, I can do something real special with these characters.
And Nicole Perlman wrote a script.
Yeah.
Nicole Perlman wrote a Guardians of the Galaxy script that was in their writing team or whatever at Marvel Studios, that like they pitched that to Gunn, and then he went and James Gunnified it, whatever. But he has his stamp all over those characters.
Right.
And exactly, it's like
they are James Gunn's versions of the characters.
I am hoping somebody at Warner Brothers like understands Green Lantern.
Right.
They had a meeting with Peter Jackson. They're like, Peter, listen, or whatever property. They're like, Peter, look,
Jeff Johns understands.
I know, man.
Jeff Johns is like the man knows Green Lantern.
This is.
I'm hoping he's in the room with Peter Jackson. You know what I mean? Like I'm hoping that that pitching can happen to where these directors that are so talented can go, oh, I never saw that character in that way.
Right.
Now that's kind of interesting. Like now,
I like this take.
It's there. It's set up for them. They just have to take the right steps to get it.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, the directors that they're getting, they're very, very, very talented directors.
Right,
I think, again, it just comes down to the right person pitching it in the right way for the director to look at that property or the set of characters or character and say, I get the point of view, I get this character, I get his motivation. I'm interested in telling that story. Apparently, Warner Brothers is also maybe soon going to announce other big directors. Peter Jackson was one of them. Apparently, there might be like up to 3 more. So we'll see who these other ones are. But I mean, if you got Spielberg and Peter Jackson, and then other people come in and
maybe
look,
DuVernay, like
you might have Peter Jackson could end up doing something that's not necessarily DC proper in the sense of like not a superhero. It could be another Black Hawk, where it can be maybe like Justice League Dark. It's superheroes maybe from that universe, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like a staple character like Green Lantern.
Yes. Going back to the Elseworlds thing that we talked about a long time ago, Peter Jackson started as a horror director.
Yeah.
That was his thing. He would be in his backyard filming horror movies and like war movies and stuff. And so I feel like maybe give him an Elseworlds if they're going to go with the Elseworlds theme, and give him like a horror movie that he can do.
You know what would be dope? Etrigan the Demon. If he did Etrigan
the
that
Demon,
would be so sick.
Wow.
Jason
Etrigan
Blood,
awesome.
who says like, "Gone, the form of man, rise the demon Etrigan," and then he turns into
Etrigan
that's
demon.
right.
And he turns
demon.
into
like the.
It's very
like
medieval. It's very. You could be very easily like Lord of the Rings style.
It could be.
That would be
dope. That's the guy that looks like a gargoyle from Gargoyles, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like his
awesome.
bright yellow skin.
Yeah.
Etrigan. He's great.
Yeah.
That one episode of Batman, dude.
Oh, so good. Anytime Etrigan showed, wasn't he voiced by Billy Zane?
I think he was.
I think it was Billy Zane.
Or
that
maybe
did
did Jason Blood? I don't know if he did both. I'll check right now. But
I think it was. I
he
could be wrong, though.
He fought Clarion the Witch Boy, and that was great. Clarion
The
had a
Witch
cat.
Boy?
He had a cat named Tickle.
But yeah, Peter Jackson I think would be really good for like Justice League Dark or any of those characters like Etrigan the
or
Demon.
if they were trying to do Constantine again,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a Zatanna movie. There's so many that are live in that dark
And
world.
that could lead to a Taika Waititi Booster Gold, you guys.
God.
Oh my God.
If that happened, that'd be
Augustine, you just gave me an erection right now. Oh my
this
God.
table is about to rise.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Speaking of
Making my nether regions engorge.
speaking of Justice League Dark and or potentially leading into that, DC just announced their new streaming service that is going to be coming soon called DC Universe. It's being pitched as a first-of-its-kind immersive digital experience designed just for DC fans. One of the many incredible things your membership will include is unlimited access to the following exclusive original series.
Hit me with these,
So
Adam.
we've got a list. We've got 2 live action and 2 animated. The first of which, Titans, we know is happening.
Okay.
Currently in production, live action. Swamp Thing, newly announced. We'll get into that.
Okay.
Live action?
Live action.
Oh, boy.
Then 2 animated series. 1, Young Justice Outsiders, which was rumored to be on Netflix.
Okay.
Apparently, it's going to be coming to this digital service.
Dope.
And Harley Quinn, a brand new animated series based around the now very,
It's
very famous
about
DC character.
Time. In the immortal words of Hope Van Dyne at the end of Ant-Man, it's about damn time. Harley Quinn got her own cartoon show.
Yeah.
Great.
Let's talk a little bit about the Swamp Thing, though. If we can go back to that really quick.
This
Lucas.
crazy.
This is nuts. So, Swamp Thing is going to be executive produced by James Wan, the director of Aquaman.
Interesting.
Via his Atomic Monster production company in association with Warner Brothers Television. It's apparently going to be an hour-long series, and here's the log line for it. When CDC researcher Abby Arcane returns to her childhood home of Houma, Louisiana, in order to investigate a deadly swamp-borne virus, she develops a surprising bond with scientist Alec Holland, only to have him tragically taken from her. But his powerful forces descend upon Hama, intent on exploiting the swamp's mysterious properties for their own purposes. Abby will discover that the swamp holds mystical secrets, both horrifying and wondrous, as the potential love of her life may not be dead after all.
That's a good pitch.
It's
really exciting
pitch,
that she's going to be the main character. That's
It
interesting.
sounds like that, yeah.
That seems like kind of the safer bet. Because I think if Swamp Thing's the main character, it might get a little bit too disconnected and heady and metaphysical and weird.
A little bit, very disconnected because it's like a swamp creature.
Yeah.
Right, at first. And then, but
I don't remember the Swamp Thing television series from the 80s or 90s.
I never saw it. Wasn't it a movie? Made for TV movie?
Was it made for TV? I don't remember.
I keep mixing up Swamp Thing with Toxic Avenger for some reason. Like in my head, they're just like the same character.
Because there were VHSs next to each other in our childhood blockbusters.
Exactly.
We were like,
okay.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Swamp Thing, Toxic Avenger.
I think it might have been both. It might have been a
made for
film,
TV
a made for TV movie that like spun into a TV series.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't think that Swamp Thing was the main character in that.
I think it was a female
he was
character.
Secondary.
Yeah.
I think he was like a supporting character, but he was still obviously very prominent. James Wan also went on Twitter and said, "Been developing this vegetarian hero for a while now, with a great team. Happy to finally share. Expect mood, mystery, gothic romance, and swamp monsters." So that's going to be interesting.
So
excited,
what I'd like to see out of this show, I know you haven't seen Avatar yet, but the Vine Benders.
Oh shit!
Vine Benders. So there's these people who can they're water benders, but they learn how to manipulate the water inside of vines.
Yeah.
And so they're the protectors of the swamp, basically.
Oh, cool.
Meets Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. You could have a very heavy-handed agenda with
what?
like Earth conservation.
I'm calling it right now. If this show does like
Yeah.
I bet you a live-action Captain Planet TV series might get
That would
greenlit.
be dope.
That would be
That'd be
dope. I would be so into that.
That would
Yeah,
be dope.
I would watch that. Yeah, so Avatar meets Captain Planet. There you go.
Yeah.
You have your pitch for Swamp Thing.
This is also like a kind of a very surprising announcement because I know that the Justice League Dark movie has been in development for so many years now.
Yes.
Guillermo del Toro, passed on it.
Yeah.
The director of Edge of Tomorrow, his name is escaping me right now. Oh my God.
Gilroy?
You're a terrible
no.
person, Adam.
Doug Lyman. Doug
Lyman, yeah, not Tom
he
Gilroy.
also passed on it, and it's kind of been in this limbo. So this was kind of a surprise
You
announcement.
were right about Billy Zane, by the way. He did voice
was Billy
Etrigan
Zane. Okay.
in Batman the Animated Series and in the Justice League. He was voiced by Michael T. Weiss, who was the actor from the TV show The Pretender.
Oh,
that show
okay.
was dope. I
Okay.
liked that show when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then it was voiced by some other character, D. Bradley Baker, who's amazing.
Okay.
There's a bunch of like creature voices.
Yeah.
So sorry, I interrupted you, but it was passed by a bunch of people, or shit didn't work out.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
it was supposed to have been a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what it feels like to me? It sometimes feels like Warner Brothers isn't moving fast enough with their DC properties in film that like any chance any TV production has, they're like, all right, we're doing Black Lightning, it's a TV show. We're hopping on it. We're doing Supergirl, it's a TV show. Y'all aren't going to do a Man of Steel spinoff?
Booster Gold, done.
But done. Boom,
Yeah,
boom,
yeah,
boom.
yeah.
Yep.
So I would not be, it feels at least like as a fan who's an outsider looking in, that somebody had an opportunity to greenlight maybe take a Swamp Thing script and be like, let's just make this the pilot of a show. We need content for the new digital platform, so let's
we need
let's just
something.
do it.
Yeah, let's do this one and kind of take a risk and make it work.
Yeah, and maybe also James Wan came in and was like, I have a cool pitch for Swamp Thing as a movie, and they're like, kind of a risky thing. Maybe we've got this new digital service coming on 2019.
Let's see how this works.
Let's do a full season order, and from there, if you want to maybe come in and executive producer or help us develop Justice League Dark or Swamp Thing movie, then we can talk about it then.
James Wan, do your horror thing.
Yeah,
because that's what he's good at.
Usually, a lot of times what happens is if a well-known director will come on and executive producer kind of help develop something to series, they will usually end up directing the pilot. If that's the case, and James Wan comes in and does a pilot after he wraps Aquaman, that could be awesome.
How cool would it be to have a horror movie where you're rooting for the monster in the dark?
Right?
Like, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
It's very Guillermo. It is.
There you go.
Yeah.
That could be really
Come
cool.
on, guys. We got these gold ideas.
I know,
Maybe Guillermo can go and help on the TV show.
Right.
He's in the TV world.
Yeah.
Let him direct an episode. This shit's gonna be mystical, right?
Yeah.
The season
The
finale
magical swamp.
of
Dude,
Swamp
directed by
Thing.
Guillermo del Toro?
Come on.
That'd be dope.
Man, we should be greenlighting things in Hollywood.
I know, dude.
So aside from Titans and Swamp Thing, is there any property that you guys feel like would be better fitted for the digital streaming service as opposed to regular television and or movies?
Well, look, I'm always going to be the guy that's like, I think every one of the great things that exist in the DC universe can be a movie.
Sure.
I think the most obscure DC property, like with a great script, can, because it's been proven by Marvel Studios with their obscure properties, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. It's been proven at other places where things will surprise people and come out of nowhere. So like, and I always will put more stock in movies because they can just do those things that build up that hype. They can have those budget effects. They are the places that I ideally want my superheroes to land and live on in live action, because the technology has now afforded us that we can actually see this shit. When we talk about Green Lantern movie getting to like the Sinestro Corps or Blackest Night or all these different things, it's like I can see that happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a pipe dream. So I'll always prefer movie things. But like I said, I think one of the reasons that people love the DC TV Arrowverse, universe with Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, and now maybe Black Lightning, and then some spin-offs with like Vixen and Constantine and different things, is because in this world, at least, we're getting so many great DC characters.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're getting to see them and spend time with them. And like, and the special effects a lot of times are stellar. They're really great. So like, at least we're getting it there. I'm not getting a Martian Manhunter movie, but at least he's on Supergirl and he's great.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so like,
Good character. Yeah.
If it's all like ideally, I'll say everything should be movie, and have it all connect so that you can build up to some amazing great thing.
Right.
But if it's you're like realistically, yeah, man, I guess give Booster Gold a TV show. Give Booster Gold a TV show where each episode he goes and messes with another character in the DC universe in the timeline or whatever. You can have so much fun with that. Kind of like Legends, but like centered around one character instead of an ensemble. Yeah, I mean, a Wonder Woman animated series.
That'd be great. I mean,
there's like so many different things you can do.
I'm not opposed to anything being animated. The only problem is that pushes it into the kids category. Doesn't get eyes on it like it should. You know?
Sure,
Yeah.
but somebody just posted a picture I saw today where like at some elementary school they had a dress-up day.
Yeah.
And they said that like for the first time, it was like once a year in many years, little girls in this kindergarten or whatever class, as many as dressed up as princesses, dressed up as Wonder Woman and Supergirl.
Nice.
Cool.
And they
That's
said when they
awesome.
tweeted this, they're like, just in case anybody tells you that like TV and movies don't matter and that little kids
Look
aren't
at
like
this.
absorbing it, like they are.
They
so
matter, yeah.
so even if it's a Wonder Woman animated cartoon show, little kids are going to be raised on that shit.
Yep.
You know,
Yep,
like we gotta
absolutely.
get it. We gotta
You
indoctrinate
gotta get
them
that
young.
good version of
Yeah.
Superman. And you imagine if everybody grew up like the kids nowadays grew up on that version of Superman that we keep pitching.
Yeah.
The world, all the world's problems will be fixed
I know.
by the time they get old.
Yeah.
There'll be
I know.
world peace.
Yeah, and there's a lot of opportunity for this DC streaming service. I mean, there's so.
Yeah.
I think the goal for them is to put their entire archive of DC animated and live action stuff
would
on
be
there,
dope.
which is
Yeah.
awesome. To be able to go to one place where I can watch Superman the animated series, Batman the animated series, Batman Beyond, all the
Right,
Justice
right,
League
right.
stuff, even the old Super Friends and all that.
Wonder
sort of
Woman
stuff.
show.
Wonder
That'd
be
Woman,
great to
Carter,
have all
yeah,
those shows on
John
there.
West
Yeah,
shit, The
yeah.
Flash. Even
Yeah.
the old '97 defunct Justice League of America movie,
Yep.
that really janky one, I'd be all about it.
Every
should just
cartoon,
put it all
every
on there.
live action show, every old
Yeah.
movie too.
Yeah.
Like it would be awesome. And I feel like that was always kind of like a fantasy of mine as a kid. Is that instead of having channels, you just click on
One
and it's like
network.
It's like here's
Hell
here's
yes.
like the DC channel.
Yes. Right,
Here's like
right,
the
right.
Marvel channel. Here's the
Yes.
the Disney channel, but literally it's just like Disney movies and
Yes.
Disney
Right,
as
and
opposed
shows
to like
and stuff.
I
Yeah,
wanna see-
I've been wanting that my whole
right.
life.
And I feel like we're moving towards that. We're moving
Yes.
away from the ideas of
Absolutely.
like having basic cable, and now it's like, oh, I don't have cable, but I have like CBS All Access because I like Star Trek, and I
Yeah.
got the DC app, and I got Netflix and
Yeah.
Hulu and Amazon and boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, but if it's specific
I
to
mean-
like a brand, I'm
Yeah,
down.
I mean, I look at my family. My family still has cable, and my mom's always like, "Man, I need to get rid of this thing. I spend $200 and I don't even use it."
Ooh, is that what cable costs nowadays?
Something like that. It's crazy.
Cut that cord.
I would rather.
Cut that
my
I
cord.
would rather
That hurts
spend.
my heart.
I know. I'd rather spend $50 on my PlayStation Network that I have that I love because I get to watch hockey and movies and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But then I don't mind throwing in $9 for Amazon, $5 for DC, $5 for Disney, or whatever they end up being.
Yeah.
I'd rather, as long as I'm under.
Right.
I'm under
Under
the
$200
$200 category. I think I'm okay. I think
And
I'm doing okay.
I don't have the patience anymore to when like if I go to like my mom's house and she has cable, like that thing where like you're watching TV, I'm like I
Yeah.
can't just watch TV anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Why am I doing this when I
Yeah.
can just be like I can
Yeah.
pop on like a Blu-ray or a TV show
Totally.
that I
Right.
know that I
You
watch.
Cater to whatever you
Yeah.
want to watch.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Yeah.
watch any of this bullshit.
I was at a
Yeah.
wedding last weekend, and all I did was I just put on IFC and I just let it run all night.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm just gonna watch all the movies that are on here. They had like Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, and they had Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and they had Scream
Dope.
3, and they had other stuff. And I'm like, why would I want to watch regular TV? I just want to watch the things that I love. So
I think it's a good move. I'm excited for this. I love. Like I talked about the last episode, before Infinity War, the movie came out, I feel like DC had the greatest comic book, properties? Not even like properties, but like to animation or to film properties, because to me the Justice League animated show was the greatest thing ever created. You know,
the best shared universe.
Exactly.
The best shared
sort
universe,
of like the best extended universe, I guess if you want to call it.
The Justice League and the DC animated universe.
So they had, with like Batman the animated series, Justice League and stuff. But now I feel like Warner Brothers kind of caught up, or sorry, that Marvel kind of caught up on this. To have this just a place where I can go and see some of my favorite things ever, I think it's pretty good. I might pay for it.
I'm into it. I'll probably get it.
I'll at the very least do the trial.
Yeah,
I'll
definitely.
If there's a 30-day trial, I'll do the trial and be like, all right, what do you have on here?
If you're
gonna do the 30-day trial, y'all better load that mofo up with content. Don't be like, well, we only have 3 things on here. No.
No.
Put
Don't
your
give
whole archive.
Bullshit.
Give me a flavor of everything that's gonna be on there, and then
just let Adam binge
Titans.
Batman the animated series, man.
Basically, and then Justice League, and then Justice League Unlimited, and then Young Justice.
I just want to binge Titans. Debut that shit when Titans comes out.
The whole
season. Let me binge it. Don't make me do this week-to-week thing. I'm over that.
I'm not into the week-to-week thing.
I regret doing Star Trek Discovery week-to-week.
Yeah, no.
I don't regret getting the app to getting CBS All Access to watch the thing, CBS All Access. But I do wish I had waited until Star Trek Discovery finished, so I could just watch one a day.
Yeah,
because week-to-week it was like
it's too long.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think the formats are changing, and
for sure.
At least
people's attention spans are definitely changing.
At least this is a good move on their part, that they're like, okay, guys, we kind of have to change this thing, because we have these properties and we can make money off of them. Let's make money off of it. Maybe that drives a change also into their movie properties and their animation properties, and they have so much success there that they're confident in putting money into where the things that we keep talking about.
For sure. Do it.
Fingers crossed.
Do it.
Fingers crossed.
Do it. Next topic, we're gonna stay on this DC train. We're gonna talk about Birds of Prey potentially getting a rated R movie. That's gonna be very interesting.
Dope.
Margot Robbie has been developing this movie apparently for 3 years now. She started having these discussions while they were in principal photography on Suicide Squad. She talked about kind of how she pitched it. She says, I pitched the idea of an R-rated girl gang film including Harley because I was like, Harley needs friends.
Yeah.
Harley loves interacting with people, so don't ever make her do a standalone film.
Yeah.
She's got to be with other people. It should be a girl gang.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing enough girl gangs on screen, especially in the action space. So that was always a big part of it. Robbie says she's not. So we'll get into the next part of it.
She's not wrong, dude. That is
not wrong at all.
I kind of love that pitch.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie. I first saw this and I was like, I don't know how I feel about it, because I want these things to be real mainstream, and I want like little girls to be able to go see like a PG-13 Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy and Catwoman movie or whatever. But the way she breaks it down, where there's not enough girl gangs in movies in the action world, I'm like, you're wrong. You're not wrong.
I don't think she's wrong, and I think there's a place to have this Harley Quinn thing that's like girl gang rated R. But then I think you can make something like Batgirl very accessible to all,
and Harley Quinn might be in it.
Harley Quinn could be in it
for sure.
So I think there's definitely like ways where you can have both. You don't have to just one doesn't have to exist without the other. I think they can both coexist, and I think it's a perfect opportunity to do that. Let Margot Robbie, produce and develop a movie that she really wants to make, she's really passionate about, but then let's put Harley in a Batman movie. Let's do it so we can access those characters.
They're still
from
going to make.
perspectives.
They're still making PG-13 X-Men movies.
Yeah.
But we got Deadpool and Logan.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're technically in the same universe, and people kind of didn't freak. There was like a little bit of a freak out when Deadpool came out and it was rated R, and Ryan Reynolds was like, "Sorry, lady, this movie's not for your kid. Like, he'll just have to wait till he's old enough to see it." And Margot's not wrong, so she should absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that type of a movie, a Birds of Prey movie, is for all of our female friends who have grown up with these characters. They're at the age now where they love these characters. They've read these characters for years, and they want to see this. And then again, our families and their kids, they can go have another piece of the DC universe.
Absolutely.
And this R-rated thing's for us, man. We get to see Harley and Selena and Pamela
be like real badasses,
like
fuck shit
and
up.
cuss.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Make maybe jokes.
I hope
and
maybe
like fart
language.
a little bit.
What's
like
that?
Fart and be gross.
Man. If Harley Quinn farted in her jammies as poison, that would be so great, because picture this.
Goes.
There's a scene where It always happens in the comic books. It's like Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. They're in their 90s.
Yeah.
They're in their little short shorts, their little booty shorts, and it's like pajama time, and they're about to go to sleep, and it almost looks like they're drawn to be like, are they about to have a pillow fight?
Right,
it looks very like
right.
sexy and salacious for like dude
Like every
audiences.
pose is just sexy, no matter what.
If they did that in the movie, and then Harley just ripped one, I would be like,
fucking brilliant.
that would be great.
There's a
Just to have dudes be like, oh yeah, oh gross,
gross,
girls don't fart. That'd be great. That would be great.
Obviously, we all also know that there's 2 or 3 other Harley Quinn projects sort of in the works. There's a Joker versus Harley Quinn movie. There is a Gotham City Sirens movie. Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie says she's actually not involved with the development of those projects. She knows that those are sort of happening on the side. But this is the one that's really been her passion. This is the one that she's been wanting to sort of do ever since she came on board to do Suicide Squad.
I love it. It says Prey was her baby. Birds of Prey was her baby.
Yeah.
That she kept presenting it to the studio until they finally felt it was at a point where they were ready to do it, and now they're all in. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
That's the type of person you want.
Don't let Margot go, you guys. Let her do these movies, man.
Right. At least let her produce. Like, her heart's in the right place for these characters.
Yeah.
She's got a passion. It's driving her. And I'm sure she has something to say with these characters. Like, maybe not a fart, but she has like something, something to say.
Just the fact that she says, I wasn't seeing enough girl gangs on screen, especially in the action space. Right there, that says like that this film will have a point of view.
Yeah.
And it will be empowering, and it will be fun, and it will hopefully be like what Wonder Woman was to so many women and so many people around the world when they open their eyes like, oh shit, we've never really seen something like this.
Right.
It'll be that, but like the R-rated girl gang action, you know,
badass,
people will go,
beat 'em up.
Oh, we don't see enough of this.
Exactly.
Like,
Just like when I saw Wonder Woman kicking ass the first time, I was like, I did not know I was missing this from my life.
Yeah.
Like, it's so badass to see her, you know, be a wrecking ball and take down a sniper in a tower and like so cool. So I'm so down with this property if she's, you know, really driven to do it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. I really hope that at Comic-Con this year we get some announcements. I know I say that all the time, but with Marvel not being in there, DC, this is your time to shine. This is your time to own this.
This is your time to swoop. This
time
is
to
swoop in.
Swoop in.
Swoop diddy
Swoop in, baby.
Swoop diddy poop. Swoop. Whoop diddy poop.
This is DC. You see me coming in on that jet like
I hope so, man. I hope so.
Me too.
We'll find out, though. We'll find out. Let's talk a little bit about casting. So, Hector, are you very familiar with Captain Marvel?
No, not that familiar.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I just realized.
Hey, none of that. I know it's past your bedtime.
I know that Ben Mendelsohn is in Captain Marvel, and I feel like I know which character he's probably going to play, which is like a Kree general who ends up being kind of an evil bad guy named Jan Rog, and I'm like, well, that's going to be fucking Ben Mendelsohn because Ben Mendelsohn is he basically played that character in Rogue One, Ready Player One,
The Dark Knight Rises.
That's
a little bit of a bad guy.
That's who
his
he does.
character.
So, but I would not know. Oh, actually, it says right here, but that's awesome. That's great.
So it's been announced that Annette Bening is going to be joining the cast of Captain Marvel. Legendary. Very, very interesting because Annette Bening is not someone who usually embraces the studio system movies. She very much kind of, a lot of the movies that she's done a lot more very independent, very much character story-driven movies. This will be her first sort of foray into this type of a territory, this type of a genre, which would be very interesting. No real confirmation as to who she'll be playing. Some people were saying that she may be playing a scientist. Other outlets are saying she might be playing Carol Danvers' mother, Marie Danvers. I tried finding information about this character, but even the Marvel Wiki had little to nothing. I don't know if you know if maybe they explored this character in the comics more and what this character could kind of bring to the universe or to this movie at least.
I am excited to report that Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, is one of the pockets of the Marvel Universe that I'm like not as up on. And that in the next year, I get to go and dive in and do research.
Yeah.
And in fact, our buddy, my friend Margaret, as soon as Infinity War was done, she texted me and she's like, well, what happened at the end? What's going on?
What is that?
And I was like,
is it Mark's?
Spoilers.
Mark's Margaret?
Mark's.
Oh,
yeah. And
hi,
she's
Mark's.
stoked. And I explained, I'm like, oh, well, these are the next 2 movies that are coming out. And next March, we're getting Captain Marvel. And it's going to be Brie Larson. It's going to boom, 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 boom. That she was like, do you have any of those comics? And I went, I kind of don't.
This is the first time you've been stumped, dog.
I've got some Marvel comics where like Captain Marvel is in there because it's like a big event. It's like Civil War, whatever. But like just her own comic. And I went, you know what? Now I get to do this research in the same way that every time one of these. Right now, I'm in the middle of doing like Infinity inspired comics. I just read Infinity Gauntlet, and I'm about to read some other 90s bullshit like Infinity War and Infinity Crusade and all this dumb stuff. But like when I get through with that, I'm going to do the deep dive into Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
Marvel just put out a new collection that is Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, and then it's the Miss Marvel years, like Ultimate Collection Volume 1, and it's this nice thick book that's like, I'm like, oh shit, this might be a good place to like to start. They even put out this other thing that's like a little single issue that is called True Believers, which they're only $1. It's a reprint of an old comic, and it's the first ever appearance of Carol Danvers in like 1973.
Yeah.
It's not her comic. She's just kind of in the background, but it's Captain Marvel Marvel.
Yeah.
Janice Marvel. And it's old school. And I'm like, I can't really give this. But on the cover, instead of saying Captain Marvel, which is what it was, the male guy, it says Carol Danvers #1. Because they're like reprinting it, and they're letting people know like this is where Carol's story starts. Here's a little dollar comic you can buy.
Yeah.
So Marvel, I feel like, is beginning this push of like, you know, putting more of her books out and kind of putting that focus. So happy to report, don't know that much. I will in the next coming months, and I'll be, you know, giving you guys.
And if you guys in the chat have read any Captain Marvel comics that you love featuring Carol Danvers, or just that universe that's a really good sort of like a, I don't know, like a good sort of like a stepping stone, like a jumping in point. Let us know. Let everybody know in the comments.
I know a little bit of the character, so I've been ever since I saw that pager shot.
Oh yeah.
I went and did a little bit of the research. I jumped into some YouTube channels trying to figure out.
And you've seen Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
And I've seen Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. She's great there. But apparently she has always been seen as sort of like a background kind of like tragic character. She had this kind of fallout with Rogue, and like there was this big thing that happened with
Rogue can fly?
Because she absorbed the powers from Carol Danvers.
Permanently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because Rogue's powers are just like the first X-Men movie.
That's true. I totally forgot about that.
She wasn't born with the ability to fly. But in the comic book world, Marie or Rogue like, held on to her so much.
They were fighting,
because Rogue was a bad guy.
Was that ever explored in the X-Men animated series?
Not in the animated series, no. Captain Marvel didn't make it.
Because they didn't have that crossover.
Yeah, they didn't have that crossover. But she's always a tragic character. They did this thing where they kind of insinuated rape with another character.
Yes, this like space character.
Yeah,
sort
the
of like
space character
put her under a spell, and then they had sex, and then had a baby. The baby was like grew up super quick.
Grew up in like 20 minutes.
It was this weird fucking comic. But then people like reflected on it, and they're like, that's
rapey, dog.
Yeah. So that was just it's a weird.
Yeah. So she's always been sort of like this tragic character. And apparently she didn't really come into her own until like right before the big first Civil War series came out.
True.
In which she kind of took the forefront. And in Civil War 2, she definitely took the forefront because she was one of the leaders.
It was like Iron Man versus Carol
Captain
Danvers,
Marvel. Yeah. So there's a little bit more digging that I have to do, but it's going to be tough to find comics to jump into because she hasn't been necessarily Marvel's most popular character. And even if you do jump into one, it might be kind of like a depressing one.
Or it might be something that's a little dated. Or it might be,
something that's dated or something where she's not the headliner, But
so do you think that that Marvel Studios is really gonna? Do you think the movie is really going to be the thing where they're like, let's define who Carol Danvers is?
Absolutely.
And then hopefully we can use the movie to then look, here's all the material we've written about her. And then maybe even like reboot the comic?
Yep.
A soft reboot. The same thing happened with Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Groot said other things other than I am Groot in the comic books, and that movie comes out, and then now he kind of really just says I am Groot. And it's a thing where the movies do such a good job of like distilling the essence of these characters down to this pure thing.
Right.
You get a bunch of great lines. You're spending 2 hours with them. You're done. That's it. That I think a lot of comic book writers, they'll hop onto these characters after, and of course they're influenced by these movies. Of course they get that summation, and they're like, okay, got it, and then they can kind of hit the ground running. Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, like most of these Marvel characters have had so many different series, or if you technically count it as one series this entire time, all of these many years, it will start over every once in a while with a new #1, and then that's considered like a new volume. So you can look at it as almost like seasons of a TV show. So Carol Danvers might be on season 8 of her like life story right now. And so then there'll be issue 1 for her like new volume of her new series, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. But it's like it's kind of a new season. Usually that issue #1 will kind of be able to sum up everything that's come before.
Yeah,
and with Carol Danvers, that character, you nailed it, Augustine. Like she's somebody who she's gone through a bunch of shit, and they've kind of gotten to a point where she's the woman who perseveres. And that's kind of why
she's the fighter.
She's been taken as like a feminist icon because she has put up with shit. And it turns out women in the world do as well. Who'd have thunk it? So that's kind of part of her thing is like, yes, I've been through this. Yes, I've been through this. Yes, I've been through this. Yes, Rogue absorbed my powers, and then part of my like essence is kind of rattling around in her, and I had to like deal with that, and but I persevere, and now I'm at the top of my game, and I'm one of the most powerful and most important of the world
icons
in
the world.
So I'm gonna check out some of these like volume 1s of these different kind of seasons, because they should, if they're doing their job, sum up what came before, but then be like, and then here's the new, direction or whatever.
I think that's exactly what they're gonna do. They're not gonna follow the exact same tragic story, but they're gonna adapt it to where it fits into the universe that's already in there, basically.
And just based off of what we know in the movie, the fact that she comes from the 90s and maybe is gonna end up in the present, that's already kind of tragic.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Like you missed 30 years, girl.
What happened?
You missed 20
what
years,
happened,
dude.
dog? Where you at? Are you in space?
What have you been doing?
Are you hanging out with Sword? What the fuck are you doing?
It's a little bit of that Steve Rogers, I had a date, like, where's my life, and now you're here.
That's what's kind of cool about having two characters called Captain something, having very parallel stories, and it's a really nice sort of baton handoff, potentially in Avengers 4, if and when Captain Rogers retires, to be like, Captain Danvers, here you go.
Oh,
shit,
leader
of the
son.
Avengers.
That'd be sick.
You just blew my mind right now. That'd be sick.
Very cool. We're going to watch the trailer for Luke Cage, but before I do, Black Panther is coming out on Blu-ray.
That is going to be
Tuesday.
gone by the end of this episode. By the way.
It's going to be gone
on Tuesday.
It's coming out on Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
I have been doing a little bit of a deep dive on some of the special features on this thing. So far, I'm loving it. There is a 20-minute roundtable conversation with Ta-Nehisi Coates, Christopher Priest.
No, they didn't.
Nate Moore, Ryan Coogler. And one other person. He's a writer of Black Panther comics from the 70s.
Oh shit! I think I know who you're talking about.
Did they get Brian Stelfreeze on there? They didn't get Brian Stelfreeze on there.
I forget the writer's name. It is a really, really cool conversation.
From page to screen, a roundtable discussion. Delve into the film's making.
Does it say who is on there?
No.
But it's a really good 20-minute conversation about the world of Wakanda, Black Panther, what he means to not only fans of the comic, but also sort of his worldly presence, what he means to the world, what this first black superhero, this major black superhero, this African superhero means to the world. Right now I'm on the audio commentary, which is with Ryan Coogler and Hannah Beecher, who's the production designer. It's really, really good. I was telling Cameron today, the only thing I wish Rachel Morrison was on there, the cinematographer, to talk about the making of the movie.
Absolutely.
Or the costume designer.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff in that audio commentary. One of which that I'll tell you, in the beginning scenes that they shot in the apartment, that was shot in Atlanta, Georgia. When you see young Zuri and Sterling K. Brown's character, where they shot that's shot across the street from the church where Dr. Martin Luther King is buried.
No.
And on the first day of principal photography, Dr. King's daughter came to the set and she blessed the set.
That's gonna move me to tears.
That's some real powerful magic
really
right there.
powerful.
That's like real magic.
Really powerful. It's a really, really good audio commentary. I'm taking notes on the whole thing. I'm hoping to do some sort of a summarization of some of the points that they hit. They talk about the Wakandan language, how it was derived from another language. It's really, really good stuff. They talk about some of the plates, where they shot certain plates, how they did some visual effects. Really good director's commentary. I'm hoping to finish that up tonight, but this is coming out on Tuesday. This movie is fantastic. It's still playing in theaters.
I know.
If it's still playing in your theater and you haven't seen it, you should 100% go see this. It's amazing. Really, really good. I really like this. I
got it imported from the UK, man.
I already got mine. It'll be here hopefully soon.
That's not 3D though, right?
It's a 3D version.
You get Thor Ragnarok?
I have not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta
I
get
the
it.
Steelbook.
Gotta get it.
But yeah, so super excited to check this out. Naeem has already been hounding me for this, so I think he'll be next on the list to take this.
It's okay.
So
I'm gonna buy
look
it.
Look at him.
I'm gonna buy it.
I got you, baby. Don't worry.
That's great.
Okay. With that being said,
he just wants to make sure he's first on the list.
He wants to make sure, yeah. Let's check out this first trailer for Luke Cage.
Okay.
I'm super excited to watch this.
Speaking of some hot coffee.
Some hot coffee. Woo! Sweet Christmas, baby. Let's do this.
Yo.
Yeah, boy.
I'm Luke Cage. Test me? You know where to find me.
Ooh, got it all, man.
What? Oh, he's shooting his promo YouTube films.
Luke Cage like he's Jesus.
I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke.
The bulletproof black man. For the hard rocks, he's a ghetto boogeyman of their nightmares.
You can get a smack for this.
Really, guys?
You gotta know we tried, man.
I ain't no joke.
But one man cannot save a community.
You can't keep doing what you're doing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Luke Cage is nothing but a man.
Whoa.
Alim,
It's mine.
Who is this guy?
Hate to see such a positive brother
What?
like Luke Cage go down like that.
He hurts you. You're not invulnerable, Luke.
Anyone who can take you on barehanded can't be good for Harlem.
This song, though.
I gotta find him.
How is this possible?
Pushmaster. What makes him so scary?
This song gets me so hyped.
I hope you never have to find out.
Oh, fuck.
It's your Bushmaster. Then I'm coming.
Oh, nice editing.
Raw, but never brutal.
Sometimes brutality gets shit done.
Yes. Mariah's back.
That boom. It needs a queen.
Yes! Bignie's back.
Darkness that you deal with every day.
Shades.
Can't consume you whole.
Robot arm.
If you let it. Don't let it.
Was he in the last season?
Just so we're clear, I'm not in the market for a sidekick.
You said you're not my sidekick.
So to fuck you up.
Oh, she's got the arm.
It's my show.
Wow.
It's my show.
My show. Nice. Luke Cage has always had great trailers. Damn it. I
Yeah,
love.
that's good.
I love the
That's
trailers
good
for both
stuff.
seasons.
That's good
Man,
stuff.
is this
June
going to be another
22nd, right?
13
Excited.
episodes?
Yeah.
I know, but I will say this. I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, I enjoyed Defenders so much. It was not a perfect show. It was not a great
no.
show. The reason I enjoyed it was just because character interactions, and then, like, I felt like it had more action than any of the other Netflix shows.
Yeah, very consistent action.
Just, like,
yeah.
constantly, and the action was, like, good for me, and
Yeah.
that action looked dope.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that. I have a feeling I know who that villain is going to be. It was another man who was experimented on in the same way that Luke Cage was. They've kind of explored that idea a little bit in the comics, especially in his most recent series.
What do you think it is?
I forget the guy's name. I think it's not Diamondback. I don't think.
Diamondback was in the last one.
Was in the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was no, that was Cottonmouth, and then Stryker was his brother. Was his brother Diamondback? That
Yeah, it
his-
was Diamondback. Remember, he showed up in
it's
that
not
weird-
I'm trying to think of what the name was. I don't think it might be Tombstone if they got the rights to that. I don't know if that would be a Spider-Man-centric character, but in any case, Bushmaster? I don't think so. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. Yeah, this is my Target Star Wars shirt. But that should look dope. I
Yeah.
am really looking forward
Yeah.
to this. And even though I loved about half of Luke Cage season 1,
I only loved half.
yeah.
Only loved
and
half.
Not just
The other half
not just the first half. I'm saying
No.
that pretty much like half of an episode, I'd be like, this is okay, and the other half would be like, this is great. So
Yeah.
it's that 13 episode.
No, for me it was up until Cottonmouth died,
Yeah.
and then I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
man,
care about this show.
you got rid of
Yeah,
Cottonmouth,
you got
and
rid
I
of
was
the best
like,
character.
oh
I know.
man, why?
You know what's so funny? Did you guys see
For
the
Diamondback?
showrunner-
Mahershala Ali.
Did you guys see the showrunner Chio Hodari Coker of Luke Cage tweet out the weekend after Infinity War, and he
No.
was like, "Man, and y'all were mad at me for Cottonmouth?" I was like, "Okay,
Good comeback.
Okay,
Good
fair
comeback.
point, fair
Okay,
point,
okay.
fair point,
All right.
fair point."
Yeah.
I hear
He
you.
was like, "Infinity
I hear
War."
you.
Yeah, there's so many things about season 1. Like, there are definitely moments that I love, and I'm kind of in agreement. I think there's
Yeah.
even stuff after Cottonmouth exits the show that I still do enjoy. But yeah, Mahershala was just like, he was so powerful and so
Yeah.
just like, I don't know. He just had such a presence to him, and the performance. I mean, it's Mahershala Ali. He's amazing. Yeah, so I agree. But I'm still excited for season 2.
Yeah,
Mike Coulter is so great as Luke Cage.
He is, man.
And you know, Misty Knight and Claire Temple.
Yeah.
It's such a great supporting cast of characters.
Yeah.
And I just like the fact that it's something new and something different.
I love the fact that they played Annie Up in the trailer. That song is amazing.
Yeah.
It just goes to show
Yeah.
that I feel like they are in tune with their audience and kind of
Yeah.
like what we're looking for.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I really hope that they learn from the last season that, like, you know, maybe don't kill your best character right off the bat.
And it again goes back to goes back to that thing of, I still don't understand why we have to do 13 episodes.
I know.
It's
What-
probably some
what is
legal
it?
Netflix
Again, must
be.
bullshit.
It must be.
It must be, but I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. It's like it's still at least better than like the 22 episode order
Oh,
of a
I
regular
agree.
network
I agree.
show.
I agree.
I will say
For
that
one
that-
season. Yeah.
that even if they wanted to change it, again, the first show being Daredevil, the white Catholic guy, the
Right.
second show being Jessica Jones, the woman, the third show being Luke Cage, the black guy. It's like maybe they felt like they couldn't skimp out on those.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Those
They couldn't just
characters.
change it.
You couldn't
Yeah.
just change it just to give those characters.
Sure.
And then even the same with the Punisher. It's like I would have loved it if Punisher was a solid 8, but I thought it was a very good 13. It was like Punisher
it
was,
was.
of all the Netflix shows, I feel like has used its 13 episodes the best.
That
in a lot
that
of
one
ways.
had a lot to unpack.
It did.
had a lot. They
It did.
really delved into
did.
his
So-
psyche. Yeah.
Do you think we'll see Heroes for Hire finally, or do you think we'll have to wait for Iron Fist 2?
I think so. I think because Misty Knight's a hero for hire.
Yeah.
And I feel like Danny Rand can maybe cameo in this.
Yeah.
But the way that he at the beginning is like, you know where to find me, and he's being taped. I'm like, this is the showman. This is the Luke Cage that like sells himself.
Yeah.
And people in the chat were saying that they said the bad guy's name as Bushmaster in the trailer. And I just looked on Wikipedia, and I was reminded that Bushmaster was like an early Luke Cage villain in some of his Power Man early issues in the 70s. The Bushmaster had street fighting skills. He later went through the same process that gave Luke Cage his powers, which gave him superhuman strength and durability. As Power Master, that was his villain name. Power Master, he can absorb energies from other people. Is like an upgrade that he eventually got.
Yeah.
But Bushmaster was his like code name. He was just like a master criminal, and he kind of wore something like this.
What a handsome guy.
Similar.
Probably not going to see that ridiculous outfit.
I really
Then there
hope we
was-
see that. Actually,
Then there was another Marvel villain named Bushmaster that was part of the Serpent Society, totally different character, like
Gotcha.
snake themed,
Yeah.
which is that. But I have a feeling we'll see.
Power
this,
Master.
This was him when he was like going up against Luke Cage.
Oh, he's got like a Wesley Snipes vibe
Yeah.
going on.
yeah, it's very
I want those shades.
very Demolition
You guys
Man.
can't see it, but you should look it
Yeah.
up. It's pretty great.
Whatever's
pretty
whatever's
awesome.
going here,
Yeah.
and it looks like he's looking a little like Colossus here.
Oh, he does
Yeah.
look like
kind of doing
Colossus
some
there,
absorbing.
yeah.
There he is going up against Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bushmaster. See, just like a master
Oh, there you
criminal.
go.
But
Okay.
that's cool. Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that's that. I'm definitely gonna watch this one. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Are we gonna binge it? That's the question.
No. Can't do
Are you
any
Those
more.
done with
binging
binging?
days.
You got to
Those
do
binging
an
days.
episode a day, baby. That's the way to do it. An
That's-
episode a day. If it's a good episode, stop. Leave yourself wanting more.
Yeah.
Sit there, let it stew. Be like, man, what a great episode of Luke Cage.
Yep.
Give yourself 24 hours to come back and be
Yep.
excited about the next episode.
Yeah.
Think about it, process it, and then go on to the next
That's the
one.
best
Yeah.
way to enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you do 4 in a row, you're gonna be like, oh, it's boring. Nothing's happening. It's like,
Agreed.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take. We've got about 5 minutes left. So
we
we'll-
have questions?
Let's take some questions from the chat room. If you guys have anything, now's the time to lay it on us and lay it on.
Serenity
Keep
Valley
in mind,
says-
we only have like 5 more minutes left. So
Yeah.
Serenity Valley says, I also want to see some Heroes for Hire action.
I
hope
want to
so.
see some hot coffee.
Yeah.
Some hot cafe.
I want to see Power Man and Iron Fist be a show, just so that it would mean that like Iron Fist would stop getting his own show,
Yeah.
but also
just,
keep giving Luke Cage a show.
just no more Iron Fist shows. Just
Yeah.
stop.
That's already being shot.
God.
I know, season 2.
You just ruined my night, Adam.
I know.
Check it
man.
out. Heroes for Hire is the show where Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Misty Knight, Colleen Wing show up, and that's the Heroes for Hire show. Maybe that's
Yeah.
like the
Okay.
new Defenders.
Yeah.
And then Luke Cage is the show where like him and Jessica Jones are in a relationship
Right,
together.
right.
And they're like, and that's where Jessica is.
Okay.
And then
Question.
Yeah.
What are they going to do about the Thanos event?
Oh,
In
I know.
this-
That's a good question. I think I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. briefly touched on it in one of the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly how it's potentially affected their entire universe, if it has at all.
I mean, I think it's going to in a way. I
feel like it
don't-
kinda has to. You
It
can't
has
ignore
to.
it. It's all
You
part of
can't
the same
ignore it.
universe.
But
do we
have
do we-
not seen the movie Avengers 4,
Right.
and
No.
how much time will pass between 3 and 4, and I
This,
bet you it will
all
be
these shows could
24
take place.
hours.
All these shows could take place literally like before Avengers.
Literally right
Infinity
before,
War.
and they can pick up right after.
Yeah, because I feel like it would be weird for these shows to mention what happened in Avengers 3
Right.
when it's like Avengers 4 is going to take place right after Avengers 3, so maybe hold
Yeah,
off on that.
yeah.
And I feel like the timeline is a little bit... I wouldn't be surprised if they retroactively will move the timeline of like Avengers Infinity War did not take place in the year 2018, but
Yeah.
2019.
Right.
So that it could just be boom, boom,
Yep.
3 and 4 are happening in
Done.
the same week or
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Yeah.
so
Have you
maybe
been-
we should
have
hold
you
off
been
on
keeping
that.
up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No.
No.
And in fact, I am soon going to start the Marvel Cinematic Universe over from the beginning and do every episode of every show.
Hector, this is like the 15th time you've
No,
restarted the Marvel
because-
Cinematic Universe.
Because, well, I've seen the movies, but I haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., truly.
you can just watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No,
you've
man.
seen them already, Hector.
You know what happens in all
know-
18 fucking movies.
You know what
Gotta
happens
do
in
it
the
all.
movies, dude.
Gotta do it all, dude. Gotta do it all.
Fuck that. Hector,
Gotta
you're
do
going to
it
be doing
all.
that until like
Next year.
2020.
I have a year. I have a year.
That's a lot
Hector,
of stuff to
if
watch.
Yeah, come
you-
in, boss. Leave
if
me alone.
you-
I have a year. I'm missing Avengers. This is what I'm doing in the meantime.
If you are doing that, you have to do 2 a days at the gym with Pooch.
2-a-days?
Yeah, meaning work out twice a day with Pooch. Because you're
I
going to be
physically
doing a
can't.
lot of sitting.
I know, right? I'll do it. Right now I'm at one.
You got to get that tuchus real tight.
Yeah, for real.
It's not going to take that long.
You're
It'll
not
take
going to get
months.
Donald Glover pecs by watching Marvel movies.
I know. I'll go to the gym once
Just
a
work
week.
out while you're watching.
There you
you
go.
need, you need one of those
There
like
you go.
treadmills that you can
Yeah.
just put in your living room and just
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I can
Exactly.
do Netflix on my phone at the gym, so
Yeah.
I'll probably do Agency Shield like that.
Yeah.
What?
You're crazy.
All right, let's
Gotta
cut
get
this
in.
off.
We're going to cut this
Cardio.
off.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for watching. And make sure you guys tune in. We're going to be coming back at you real soon on Tuesday with 2 reviews, Solo, A Star Wars Story, and Deadpool 2. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then next week, we'll obviously do spoiler reviews for both movies. Or not next week. We'll do one for Deadpool next week and then one for Solo the following week. Because, you know, that's how those
we
movies
do.
are being released.
Yep.
In the meantime, Hector, where can everybody find you on the
Find me
interwebs?
on the internet at Hector is Funny and check out new episodes of the 500 Greatest Films podcast. We got up to 10,000 downloads.
That's
for
doing
all
real
of
well.
our-
That's
That's
doing
pretty
real
good.
well.
It's
Yeah.
not doing Danny and Iffy well. They got 100,000 downloads
In
on their
4
podcast.
episodes.
Yeah.
You also don't have Apple Podcasts retweeting
It's
you, so
true.
you're
You
fine.
don't. Yeah.
Shit, I got to ask Apple Podcasts.
You
to tweet
do.
me. Maybe
You
that's
do.
what I got to do.
That's what
All
you
right,
gotta
No,
check it out.
no more Inhumans. Jesus.
I'll watch it again. I've
No
never
more
seen it.
Inhumans.
No, no.
We only saw the first episode. I'll watch that 8
Oh, I
episode
watched-
show.
I watched
You watched
3 or
all of it?
4.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
They
I
were
only watched
real
what we
bad.
saw in the
Right.
theater. Yeah.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Pass.
I can't wait.
Augie,
You can find me at L_Santo Taco and look out for other Lord of the Rings stuff that I'm going to be doing in the future.
hit him up. Hit him on the Twitters. He's
Yeah.
a good resource for Lord of the Rings.
For sure.
You can just find me at Adam Havoc on all social platforms, and we will catch you next week. End card.